Have you ever noticed how some people seem to shift the entire mood of a room? Not by what they say, but by what they withhold. They don't argue. They don't justify. They simply choose absence over reaction. And without warning, the atmosphere bends around them. Suddenly people notice. They question. They seek. They wonder what they did wrong, not because words were thrown at them, but because energy was withheld. Now imagine if you lived like that. Imagine choosing your responses instead of handing them out automatically. Imagine pausing instead of exploding, withdrawing instead of defending. What would happen? I'll tell you what would happen. The people who thought they could predict you, would panic. They would scramble to make sense of your silence because they have always depended on your reactions to validate their actions. See, when you are always available, emotionally, mentally, even physically, you give people a blueprint on how to control you. They pull a string and you dance. They press a button and you react. But the moment you choose to step back, not out of anger, but out of power, the entire system crashes. And those who thought they understood you realize they were only interacting with a version of you they could control. The real you, they never even met him. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Think about that. How many times have you mistaken emotional reactivity for authenticity? How often have you believed that your instant reactions were you being real, when in fact they were chains you hadn't even noticed? Here's a harsh truth. The one who controls your emotions controls you. Now ask yourself, when you become silent, distant, unavailable, who becomes uncomfortable? Who tries to pull you back into their world of demands, dramas, and expectations? Who accuses you of changing when in fact you are only reclaiming yourself? Their discomfort isn't about you, it's about their loss of control over you. You see, we are taught from a young age that love equals availability, that being good means being endlessly present, that being a friend, a partner, a family member means saying yes, even when your soul screams no. But what if I told you that constant availability is not love? It's self-abandonment dressed up as loyalty. Each time you force a yes, each time you reply when you should rest, each time you react out of guilt, you leak energy. And little by little, you find yourself exhausted, bitter, hollow, wondering why you feel invisible in a world you work so hard to please. Here's why. You taught people to value your presence only when it was convenient for them. This isn't about becoming cold. It's not about punishing people with silence. It's about finally respecting your own emotional space. Jung called it the process of individuation, the journey of becoming whole, separate from the mask you've worn to survive. And individuation begins when you understand that true power is quiet. It doesn't argue. It doesn't beg. It doesn't announce itself. It simply is. When you retreat, not out of fear, but out of wisdom, you become unpredictable. And unpredictable people are powerful. They cannot be used. They cannot be guilt-tripped. They cannot be owned. Now I ask you, how long will you continue to trade your peace for approval? How long will you keep offering pieces of yourself to people who only notice you when they need something? Maybe it's time. Time to stop explaining yourself. Time to stop being everyone's emergency contact for their emotional crises. Time to recognize that those who truly value you will not demand your constant presence. They will respect your sacred distance. You have been conditioned to believe that quick responses, immediate forgiveness, and endless understanding make you a good person, but they often just make you an easy target. The truth is, the more you abandon yourself for others, the more they forget you even exist. People don't cherish what's always there. They cherish what they fear losing.